or indeed things like in policing, for instance, to be really direct, I don't think that women should be in frontline policing roles because I think that the physical differences are too profound, particularly in the UK where police officers don't carry guns. The average woman, even a really strong, fit woman, is going to really struggle in a direct confrontation with the average male.
But if I was to rebuttal that, I'd say, what happens if you have a crime where involving several women and a man shows up without the empathy or without the ability to sort of resonate or to relate?
So I think women should be involved in criminal justice, but because, for instance, probably women are better at interviewing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised. And interrogation. Yeah. So there are probably some roles where women are going to outperform men. Again, it's the overlapping bell curves. There'll be some men who are really good at this, whatever. But you'd expect there to be a female advantage in that role. But there isn't a female advantage in the being out and having physical confrontations with people role. And I think that's fine. I don't think that we should. There's this very frustrating tendency in policing, for fire service as well, for people to notice the fact that there are fewer, say, female firefighters, and therefore to lower the physical demands to get more female firefighters in.
What if the physical demands? What if the test is the test the same for both? I.e., if I want to be a frontline police officer, I have to pass the same physical test irrespective of gender.
Yes, that's true. But one of the things that they've done over the years, because of pressure, like feminist pressure, to be blunt, is that they've changed the standards. So they've, say, reduced the upper body strength component, or they've made in policing and in firefighting, all these, and military, you have to bleep test, stuff like that. They've lowered the standards necessary in a lot of roles.
So that's really the issue then?
Yeah.
Because there's, several of the women upstairs would whoop my ass in a bleep test. They will. They run marathons and stuff, all of them in the bloody office. They'd all whoop my ass. Yeah. So the issue is about making sure the standards are sufficient for the requirement of the role.
Don't lower the standards so that you can get more women into these physical roles. Just accept the fact that there will be, I do know actually, I like one female firefighter that I know personally from jiu-jitsu. She's so strong, she's so fit, she passed a very, very high standard, great. You will get that woman in 1,000 who can, and in which case, fine, But what I don't think is wise at all is engineering it such that you have 50-50 in every role. I think that that's a recipe for disaster.
So, but just to be clear on this point, because you said you don't think women should be involved in frontline policing, if they can meet the
the very high standards, I think that one woman in 1,000, yes. But I
1 woman in 1,000?
Yeah.
You think that's it?
Yeah.
And is that because of upper body strength you were talking about?
That's the big one. It's also aggression.
Okay.
You do need a certain level of, you can watch a lot of body cam of police having physical altercations. And it's quite common, for instance, to see female police hesitate more than male police do. Because I think...
not always a bad thing, if you think about the amount of people just being killed.
It depends, doesn't it? There's also... policing is a complicated one because also in America, say, where the police have guns, female police are less likely to shoot than male police are. So, maybe that's good, right?
Yeah.
But if it's something like, I don't know, there's a lot of body cam footage you can watch of, say, a female and a male police partnership confronting someone, the man goes right in and the woman is because these are quite deep-seated instincts to be less physically aggressive. And this is a thing, we talked about right at the beginning, this thing the testosterone curve for men in their teens, 20s, 30s, it has as its disadvantages. It translates into sexual violence and violent crime and whatever. But there are also obviously situations where you need that, where actually having physical courage is so important if you're running into a burning building or whatever, So it's this eternal problem that societies have to try and solve. We have this youthful male energy and we want to put it to the best possible purposes and we don't want it put to dangerous purposes. How do we do that?
It's so complicated because I understand, and I understand that there's physical differences, but policing is so complicated because you're policing both men and women. So women have a different testosterone curve, for example. So would it therefore be better for a woman to show up in that scenario who is going to match that person's?
Maybe, although women really don't commit very much violent crime at all. So if you're talking about like physical altercations, the chances of it being a woman are not high.
But if a man shows up, then
maybe he would escalate more.
He would escalate more. I'd had a few conversations about this subject with people. And then I remember seeing, obviously it's a particular front of mind story, what happened in Australia recently with the terrorist attack in the mall. And we were in Australia at the time, and I was watching the footage, and it was a woman that showed up with a gun